Hey guys, it's Mike here, and in this video, I'm going to discuss a subject that for a lot of people might seem like something that is rather obvious, and for a lot of other people is something that they have been arguing about for a very long time, ever since the Cell Saga of Dragon Ball Z. And that is the topic of Gohan, and the fact that Gohan was stronger as a Super Saiyan, the first one, than Goku in the Cell Saga of Dragon Ball Z. And so in this video, I'm going to be going in depth and explaining exactly why that's the case, why those people who continue to say that he is actually weaker are probably misinterpreting certain lines that occurred along the way, and then in turn, everyone should have even greater clarity about this. So let me get into that right now. But before we begin, I want to tell you all about eWin Racing, who is today's sponsor. And eWin Racing is a company that makes awesome gaming chairs, desks, and that much more for somebody who wants to work or play in style and absolute comfort. And awesome enough, the people at eWin Racing were kind enough to actually send me over this chair, as you could see right here, which I got in blue because that's one of my absolute favorite colors. And as you could see, this blue coloration really pops out on this polyurethane leather that really stands out, especially in the light of your home or in the sun. You can see that they have these 4D armrests right here, so you can adjust them to your heart's content. Down here, you actually have right here a switch, so you could actually increase the height in order to suit anyone of any size. Over here, you could actually tilt the chair back, or you can move back this rest right here, so you can basically take a nap if you want to, because this thing is really comfortable enough to do that. And this chair is heavy duty. You guys know I've never really been a small person over the years if you see my old videos, and this thing is comfortable enough for me to sit in it very easily. This amazing chair, because it could support up to 550 pounds, which, as you know, is going to be suitable for most people, absolutely. And the thing is, when it comes to my experience compared to sitting in this chair compared to other ones, I've sat in a lot of ergonomic chairs over the years, ones that say that they're really comfortable, but this one for me, almost certainly the most comfortable one of all. I definitely recommend you check it out. And if you go down below to the description, you'll be able to find my special link for anyone who wants to purchase one of these awesome chairs, desks, or more, as well as my special code Laughingstock, which will give you 20% off your purchase, which is even greater than the deal they currently have on the site. So make sure to check out eWin Racing. And with that being said, let's get back to the video. Okay, so everything here actually begins with Goku fighting against Cell when they were at the Cell games of Dragon Ball Z, or the Dragon Ball Manga, chapter 203 of the Dragon Ball Z section of it. Now, let me get into that right now, because there are a lot of little things that Toriyama actually drops and hints at along the course of this fight that actually indicates to us that Goku, as we could see pictured right, is weaker than the one who defeats Cell pictured left, which is Gohan, even in this mastered grade 4 of Super Saiyan. So let me get into that right now as I go through the fight and I start to show you those little glimpses of exactly why. Okay, so as we see, when Goku is going to step up to fight, of course, what ends up happening is everyone here is under the impression that Goku is the strongest one there, that he's the only one who will be able to really fight and truly take out Cell, except for Vegeta, who thinks that maybe he still has a little bit of an edge, but you have even Trunks here saying, now we'll finally get an answer, why was Goku so calm? So of course, that's, their belief is that maybe Goku has some kind of special technique or something. And this is where we see the fight get underway, one of the best fights in the entire franchise of Goku fighting against Cell. And, they're going back and forth. Goku goes to blast Cell, he's deflecting it. The two of them seem, well, rather even at this point. If anything, maybe Goku's at a slight disadvantage because of the fact that Cell is the one who gets that final shot in their skirmish and knocks Goku down to the ring. Of course, that was just their warm-up, though, because that's when we get into their full powers on display. Goku is saying that Cell's tougher than he expected, and Cell is saying that he's a seasoned warrior, but there's no comparison between him and the others. Basically, that he's way more powerful than everyone there. And this is when Goku goes to power up to full, as Cell even says, and everyone here is just shocked. Vegeta, who before was so prideful in his strength, Piccolo is shocked, Trunks is shocked, even though he's probably the least shocked because he still realizes, well, it is Goku, the guy he'd heard so many legends about. And we see Vegeta reacting, so that's his true power, because up until this point, for all Vegeta knew, Goku was basically at full power when he powered up for Korin, which is probably what Vegeta aimed to surpass, but nope, Goku was still stronger even before he went, or after Vegeta went in for the second time, as well as Trunks going in. But what does Gohan say? Gohan isn't shocked, he isn't surprised, he isn't impressed at all by Goku's power. In fact, you see the 3 dots like he's thinking, and here's his inner monologue, why is everyone so amazed? Of course Dad's great, but... And that's our first little glimpse that, of course, Gohan is actually stronger here, which will go on to be confirmed. So we see the fight between the two of them. Cell powers up to what a lot of people thought was his full power at first, obviously not even close. He just powered up to give him the equivalency and a little bit of an edge over Goku and his power, basically reaching to that. Even their auras are relatively the same size, despite the fact that Cell is like, 6'9" or whatever. And the two of them get into fighting. And, we see this awesome fight going forth that so many fans have seen over the course of it. And throughout everything, Goku gives Cell everything he possibly can. And eventually, of course, as we know what would go on to happen, Cell starts to ramp up his power over the course of the fight, showing that he definitely has the advantage over Goku, which inevitably leads to Goku trying to hit Cell with everything that he can by powering up all of his energy to full, even after he just told Cell that he could destroy the planet by going too hard with the Kamehameha. And this is where he uses the iconic move of the full power, instant transmission, instantaneous movement or teleportation, Kamehameha, and vaporizes the top half of Cell's head. Now, if Cell didn't have plot armor here, he probably would have died because of what we learned later on about him having a core inside of his head. So many people are like, well, I'm sure Cell can move that core around his body. Maybe if they had said that, then it wouldn't be a plot hole. But anyway, what ends up happening? Well, Cell gets back up. The two of them continue their fight. Goku is clearly at a disadvantage here as it goes on even more. He's doing Vegeta's technique by doing all the flurries of blast. And then, Cell puts up his force field that he inherited from Android 17. And what ends up happening? Even Master Roshi knows that Goku doesn't have a chance. He's not close to winning, and he's going to lose, and even Goku knows that. So Goku's plan here was never to defeat Cell because he knew that he wouldn't be able to. Everyone here is acknowledging that they don't think he'd be able to, that he's going to definitely lose, not give him a sensu bean because of his pride as a warrior. And of course, even Cell says here, you've spent so much energy, maybe if you take a sensu bean, your chances will increase slightly of defeating him. And he thinks that there's no one up there on the hill who's as strong as Goku here. Of course, he's wrong, because this is what leads to Goku giving up, and where we get way more insight as to what's going on here. Because he says, we haven't run out of fighters yet, and, he's saying that, Trunks and Vegeta are nothing compared to you, but what exactly happens here? Goku is so confident of Gohan, the Cell game will end in the next match, because if he loses, there will be nobody else who can beat you. But I know, after trying my hand against you, that he can beat you. That's why he's leaving it all to him, and Gohan, you're up. Or you're up, Gohan, because you're supposed to read from right to left, in case most people didn't get that. So, as we see right here, everyone here is shocked. They all think Gohan won't stand a chance. Even Piccolo, even though he's Gohan's teacher and the one who's his friend, probably should have a little bit more faith in him. But he says, come to your senses, Goku. How can he do this? He's grown remarkably, but this is Cell against whom not even you stood a chance. But Goku knows better. Piccolo, Gohan has more power than I can believe. Think about it. He's been fighting with us ever since he was little. I was nothing like this when I was his age. But if he's a Super Saiyan now, to fight Cell, Krillin says, the power sleeping deep within him began to awaken in the room of spirit and time. Shall I ask him how he feels? What do you say, Gohan? Was our battle too tough for you? This is where a lot of people get confused. Gohan says, well, no, but neither of you was fighting for real yet, right? I don't know about Cell, but I was doing my best. So to you, it looked like I wasn't really trying, huh? But is that true, Gohan, says Piccolo? Yeah, says Gohan. Impossible, that brat's lying. Do it, Gohan. Bring peace to the world. You want to grow up and be a scientist, don't you? He said that when he was 4 Goku. Maybe, a 4-year-old doesn't know what they want to do. I mean, I'm sure I probably wanted to be a firefighter, an astronaut, a professional wrestler, all that stuff when I was a kid. But, now I talk about Dragon Ball on the internet. Anyway, so what happens here? A lot of people completely misunderstand this scene. So many people think that Gohan is actually right here when he says, but neither of you was fighting for real yet, right? So many people think that Goku is not going all out against Cell, that he actually wanted to give Gohan a chance so that he could take over as the hero and win and all that other stuff. That's all wrong, 100% wrong. Goku flat out says, I don't know about Cell, but you even see I on the emphasis, was doing my best. So to you, again, you emphasized, which is Gohan, it looked like I wasn't really trying. That's because Gohan was comparing the power of Goku at his full power to Gohan's full power. And of course, Gohan just assumed that Goku was more powerful than him because not only is it Goku, but also it's his father. So why would he have thought that he was stronger than his own father? It's kind of like the opposite situation almost with Vegeta and his son. So in a sense, Vegeta thought that he was more powerful than Trunks, and I'll talk about that in its own video in the future as well. But nonetheless, Gohan flat out is said to have been more powerful than Goku here. And that's not all, because when we see Gohan actually steps up to fight, what happens? All right, I'll give it a try. He jumps down. He goes to power up. They even give Cell a Senzu Bean. I talked about that in its own video about why Goku giving Cell a Senzu Bean wasn't that bad and was actually a good thing overall in the grand scheme of things that you could see on my channel. Now, Cell is actually not only at full power, you can argue maybe he actually got even stronger because he is using his Saiyan cells and he took a Senzu Bean at this point. So an even stronger Cell who was already powered up to fight full power Goku goes to fight Gohan. And Gohan powers up. And look at everyone's reactions to just Super Saiyan Gohan powering up. Cell is shocked. Everyone is like being blown back even more than when Goku powered up. We see Gohan, and even right here, look at what they say. What? Says Vegeta? Everyone here is speechless. Gohan, says Piccolo. And then, what here? That's Gohan? Mild-mannered Gohan? What is he, Clark Kent? How did that brat get so powerful? I don't believe my eyes. And then what does Cell say to confirm everything? Perhaps what Son Goku said wasn't just a bluff after all. And then, of course, in his own arrogance, he says, but it's still a joke to say that he can defeat me. I'll kill him before he can land a blow. Weep, Son Goku. Weep when your son dies because of your arrogance. What a badass line. No wonder Cell is the most perfect villain in the entire Dragon Ball franchise. Another video I talked about recently. Wow, so many cheap plugs here. What am I, Mick Foley? And so, multiple times it's already stated that Gohan is stronger than Cell here. And this doesn't just stop here either, because look at what happens when the two of them actually get down to fighting. Like I said, Cell is powered up maybe even more than he was when he fought Goku at full power. Goes in, Gohan blocks. Gohan dodges. Gohan dodges again. Gohan is able to be grabbed by Cell, who of course was stronger than him and Goku as a Super Saiyan, and starts damaging him, blasts him through a rock, and everyone else has already lost faith in Gohan at this point. People just think because he's a kid, then he must not be able to take this, but Goku is the only one paying attention, and he says, can't you feel Gohan's chi? And then Gohan walks out, barely damaged at all. But what does Gohan say right here? Gohan actually doesn't want to fight Cell. So a lot of people, when they see this fight between Gohan and Cell, they're like, oh, Gohan does so much worse than Goku. That's because of Gohan's motivation. Not because of his power, but because I don't like to fight like Dad does. I don't want to kill anyone, not even someone as awful as you. So Gohan already knows that he has enough power within him to kill Cell when his full power is unleashed. You couldn't kill me in 100 years, am I wrong? I'm beginning to understand why Dad said only I can defeat you. Ever since I was little, when I get mad, I lose control and go berserk. I think that's what Dad's counting on. Well, your plan failed, and this is what leads to Cell, of course, wanting to initiate everything. So What is he talking about? Well, when the two of them were in the time chamber, Goku is planning to utilize and exploit Gohan's hidden potential, not just to make him a Super Saiyan, but also to make him go even further beyond that, to quote Goku from the next arc, where he goes even further beyond, even further beyond. And what happens here? When they're in the time chamber, what does Goku say to Gohan? He says that they're going to start training, Gohan's going to become a Super Saiyan, and then me, a Super Saiyan? Do you think I could do it? Sure, you can. You have Saiyan blood in you too. You'll be one before the real training starts. Dad, am I delaying your training for a while? Yeah. Now, a lot of people think that Goku was actually held back by training with Gohan. This is also wrong because of what happens next. But once you're Super Saiyan, you'll be a great sparring partner. You see, I'm going to reach the state beyond the Super Saiyan. I'm going to be more powerful than anyone. But I want you, Gohan, to be more powerful than me. More powerful than you? And so what does that mean? Well, this is exactly what he's able to accomplish. And he says, of course, they're talking about how the android still killed him in the future. It's a totally different one here. But Goku's game plan going into the time chamber was to become as powerful as he could possibly be, the most powerful out of anyone, but to have Gohan be even stronger. However, the secret to Goku even getting that strong in the first place was that when Gohan became a Super Saiyan, he would become a great sparring partner, because Gohan's base was already incredibly powerful before he transformed, and not just that, but additionally, Gohan's hidden power kept coming out further and further to the surface, bubbling to the surface, and surpassing Goku, or at the very least pushing him to his limits constantly, to where the two of them became far stronger than if Gohan trained with Vegeta or with Trunks and vice versa, any of those other combinations. This was the perfect training combination to ultimately take down the perfect villain. So Gohan was already stronger as a Super Saiyan than Goku by the time he fights Cell. And when he starts to, actually attempt to fight against Cell here, what happens? He's actually able to land a blow on Cell, knocking him off his feet right onto the ground and dealing some damage to him, making him actually bleed here. So again, Gohan, just as a Super Saiyan, was already doing better, against this level of power than Goku was, aside from certain moves like, the Kamehameha that he used against Cell, but ultimately nothing really mattered or really ultimately did anything. I keep saying ultimate so much because I'm looking at Gohan. And what ends up happening? Eventually, we see everything play out. Cell eventually is able to torment Gohan to the point in which he is pushed to the brink, and then it's through the words of Android 16, who explains to Gohan his motivation needs to change so that he can tap into his true power, that it's not a crime to fight for good. There are some who would never listen to words just like Cell. Feel the anger, set your passions free. I know how you feel, but you don't have to hold back. And through 16's death, the gruesome one we see right here, Gohan snaps, goes Super Saiyan 2, achieving not only Super Saiyan 2, a transformation on top of what he had before, but also tapping into his full hidden power at will, which means that Gohan got even stronger than 2 times of a boost here. He probably got 3 or even 4 times stronger, which would have pushed him to the point to where these Cell Juniors, as you could see, they were doing pretty good against the Z Fighters, even, full power Vegeta, Trunks, and Piccolo after his time chamber visit, and he just annihilates them like this, kind of like what Quaman talked about in his video about manga violence you could check out on his channel. And this is just showing just how powerful he became. Cell goes full power, and this is way above anything that Gohan's regular Super Saiyan or Goku's regular Super Saiyan had. And this shows just even more how much more powerful Gohan became, because Cell powers up, maybe doubling his power at this point, and then in turn what ends up happening? Well, Gohan still barely takes any damage from him, and then is effortlessly annihilating Cell. And to the point where, Goku, he has confirmation right here. Vegeta, his teeth are chattering, which I always love that little moment. He's so shocked and so basically in fear of the ultimate power on display here, pun again, that he is chattering with fear. So again, what happened? Well, every single thing here proves definitively, I would say, that Gohan as a Super Saiyan was stronger than Goku. So ultimately, once again, I would say that everything goes in hand to show you that Gohan, as a Super Saiyan, a mastered Super Saiyan, full power Super Saiyan, grade 4, whatever you want to call it, was already stronger than Goku when he fought against Cell, and then especially became that much more powerful after he tapped into his hidden potential. His Super Saiyan after that potential unlock was also stronger as well, and so was his base form. It wasn't just him getting Super Saiyan 2, it was even more than that. So that's also why it was so hard for Goku and Vegeta to actually surpass Gohan. That Vegeta had to train for 7 years, or however long he did, under intense gravity, training as hard as he possibly could every day, and achieve Super Saiyan 2 and surpass Gohan at this point, because he was already vastly weaker than Gohan after he became a Super Saiyan 2 and even as a regular Super Saiyan. And the same thing is the case for Goku, needing to train in heaven with a spiritual master body, whatever it is, and then in turn actually becoming Super Saiyan 2 and eventually Super Saiyan 3. And even then, they weren't many times stronger than Gohan when he fought Cell in just their Super Saiyan 2 or anything like that. So that goes to show you just how much of an absolute beast Gohan was. But with that being said, let me know your own thoughts down below in the comments. Also, if you're interested in getting your own eWin Racing chair, make sure to go down below in the description for my special link, and don't forget to use the promo code Laughingstock in order to get even more off of your purchase, and make sure to stick around because there's a lot more to come in the future. See you later, guys.
And you better subscribe!